How many of you have ever been in a debate? How often do you debate? Debate is often thought of as a niche activity of the intellectuals. Many think that they have never debated before. Turns out that a normal person debates about 2 to 3 times a day, even if they don't know it. And we debate from what we want to eat to where we want to hang out or what topic we want to do with our final assignment. And the value of debate only reaches its full potential when we tap deeper to the core of the issues and ask ourselves bigger questions. For example, let's try this. What would you think of the motion this house would punish parents for the crimes of their children? What are some possible arguments for and against this motion? We encourage you to pause the video and think for a bit. After thinking, have you considered these following questions? What is the possible problem lying behind this motion? Why was this motion set? How will this motion help solve the problem? Let us give you a demonstration of what a debate looks like.
In a world where there are hundreds of cases of crimes committed by children, ranging from bullying to murder and rape, and worse, there are no visible signs of stopping, or there are no measure to stop that trend. And thus, today on our side of the house, we're advocating for the punishment of parents for the crimes of the children as a solution to that problem. Before we begin the speech, a few things to clarify or give definitions. Children are usually considered as people under the age of majority, and they're not held legally accountable in many countries. The characteristics of children are usually naive, they don't have critical thinking for themselves yet, and they're very impressionable and easily influenced by the environment they're in or the people they're around with. And the crimes of the children are usually gang crimes, because children don't generate those ideas by themselves, but they're influencing or copying others. And so these crimes are bullying, murder, rape, etc. So what do we advocate today? Our policy is for the punishment of parents for the crimes of the children. So the severity of the punishment will be in a line with the type of punishment that an adult would receive if they commit that same crime. So if it's a minor and economic related crime, then the parents will receive a financial fine. But if it's a more serious and major crime, then the parents might go to jail. So the difference between our policy and the status quo is that all of the consequences that we have imposed on the children will now be transferred to the parents. And that will take effect immediately, as opposed to the status quo where children has to wait until the age of majority to receive the punishment for the crimes they've made in their minority. So a few things that I'm going to begin my speech with. First, I'm going to tell you why this policy is necessary. 3 reasons. One, it's because the crimes of the children are very impactful, and they're as serious as the crimes made by anyone else. So they are crimes that affect a lot of people. They are damaging, and they have long-lasting consequences. For instance, crimes I've told you before, like murder, rape, etc. And these crimes are escalating. 2, these are children, and the effect of the crimes will not only impact the society, but also impacts the culprit, the children, because if we don't educate them now, then those bad behaviors will be ingrained in their habit and develop as they turn into adult. But then thirdly, someone has to take the blame right now, because if the children commit crimes and they don't see any visible consequences, then there will be no deterrence, and the children just keep committing the crime. 2, I'm going to tell you why parents should be responsible for the crimes of the children. Two reasons for that. Firstly, parents have the most impact on their children because parents, unlike any other people like friends or the school, parents have a lot of control on what kind of things they want to expose their children to. So they have the control over their education, the materials that they read, or the kind of people that they tag along with. Thus, parents have a lot of responsibility in cultivating their children to become well-behaved individuals, law-respectful individuals. But then secondly, if parents don't know how to teach their children properly or don't care about teaching their children, then it's already the parents' failure in their responsibility as a parent, because then they would have violated their moral obligation as their parents to help their children reach the maximum potential. And thus, in all of the cases, parents should be the ones responsible for the crimes of the children. And thirdly, I'm going to tell you why punishment for parents would be effective in lowering the crime rate of the children. Two reasons. First, because the relationship between parents and children are usually very strong. They're very uniquely attached to each other. Thus, when the children see that the parents are getting consequences for something that they've done, they will feel more guilty than if the consequences were put upon the children themselves. Thus, the children will be more likely to reconsider the actions and less likely to commit crimes in the future. Secondly, if parents are punished for the crimes of their children, then parents will consider the cause of their punishment and see that there is a problem in their education towards their children. And the parents will revisit their education philosophy to the children, and they will try to improve the education towards their children, and thus make children become better and less likely to commit crimes. A few points on why this is uniquely effective rather than the delayed punishment in the status quo. Two cases for that. One, we eliminate the possibility of psychopath, because with children who have mental issues, they don't care about the accumulated consequences. They only care about how many times can they still commit crimes when they're young. Thus, if we keep the current policy, then it won't deter those children in committing more crimes. However, with this type of policy, then the children will have to stop right now. And the second case is we will avoid manipulation of children by adults, because right now a lot of adults use children as tools to commit their crimes, because the children can commit crimes again and again without being punished. Thus, we need a measure to stop them right now, so that the children can't commit further crimes and the adults can't use children as the tools. And in conclusion, we think that this policy is justified because we think that the end goal justifies the means, because between parents and children, we're protecting the welfare of the children more than the welfare of the parents, because children are more naive and they have a long way to develop ahead of themselves, whereas parents are more matured and they have critical thinking, and they're not easily swayed by the impacts upon them. Thus, if the measure is effective, then we're willing to give up some of the rights of the parents, such as the injustice of the parents or the annoyance of the parents, for the greater good, the greater benefits of the children in the long run. Thus, for all of the reasons, we proudly propose the punishment of parents for the crimes of the children.
My speech will incorporate rebuttals with arguments. First of all, we agree that this is a problem, but we don't agree with the solution. Children are not always naive. In fact, there are many cases that children have mental issues and they're evil by nature, and they don't perceive any kind of education normally as any other kids. And what's more, children are affected by many elements in their life, and not only parents. And although parents has a very close relationship with the children, we also have to consider the cases where children do not receive much care from parents, and also those who do not have parents at all. Taking those cases, if we take parents as the one to take the responsibility for children's crime, what will happen to those who do not have parents who will take the responsibility for the crimes? First, we would like to argue that parents don't affect children that much, because children are affected by many other elements like school, friends, and teachers, and they even have a tendency to listen to their friends more than their parents, because their friends are at a similar range of age as them, and they may consider what their friends teach them or talk to them is more modern, and their parents, who has a generation gap with them, will teach them outdated knowledge, and what they learn from their friends also have great influence on their behavior. Therefore, if we take parents to receive the punishment for children's crime, is not really accurate, because there may be cases that children don't listen to parents at all, even though parents provide proper education. Two, we want to argue that this solution is not effective. There are many cases where there is no attachment or little attachment between children and parents, where children don't listen to parents and parents also do not care much about the children. Therefore, if parents are the ones to take the responsibility for the children's crimes, children won't change, or that punishment will not have any effect on the children's misbehavior. And even worse, children may have a false overgeneralization that whenever they do something wrong, someone else will take the blame, and there is no instant consequence for them, and they will continue doing that crime and even worse crimes in the future. And that not only affect children as an individual, but also affect the whole society, as children is the vital role in future society. And moreover, children is not old enough to understand that their parents have to endure such punishment due to the wrongness of their misbehavior. They may see that as an injustice by the whole society, and they will even commit more crimes or else spread their hatred, their anger to our law system. Consider parents' side. They will see their children as the cause of their punishment, and they will hate the children and wanting to retaliate them and punish them and make them suffer for what they have suffered for the children, and that will make the children even worse. Besides, parents will also feel unjust because they have to be punished for what they did not commit, and they will blame it on the injustice of the law system or of the whole society, and they will somehow plan ways to revenge. 3. As the scenario that your side has created, parents is treated as means to an end, not an end itself, according to Kantism. As we all know, parents are also human, so they need to be treated as a human being with human rights instead of a means that leads to a purpose. Although your purpose is good, to educate children, to make the children better, this method is unacceptable because it goes against human rights and also also disgrace the values of human beings, and in this case, parents. In the best case, parents will have to be punished, and therefore they will know that they need to educate their children more properly, and children will understand how bad their crimes are, and they will not behave so badly anymore. However, your approach is initially wrong, and it goes against human rights. Therefore, it will not stay stable for long. We believe that the law of punishment we're currently approaching is reasonable, as it does not interfere any human rights and also enhance values of parents.
So, Within our constraints, we can only give you a demo debate, but this is still an ongoing debate and we encourage you to continue thinking about it. From the very simple motion, we can explore many different issues that we haven't thought of before. For example, at the beginning, you may only think of parents' great influence on children as the sole reason for supporting the motion, or children being affected by other external factors as reason for opposing the motion. However, when we explore the motion further, we can think of the effectiveness of the motion on lowering the crime rates of children, or why the solution in the status quo is effective enough. We can also consider the unintended harms or benefits that go with our actions. You might not have thought of the trade-off of the injustice of parents for the reformation of children and why that trade-off is worth it. There is more to this than meets the eye. So, the next time you encounter a motion or a problem in daily life, think of the bigger picture and ask yourself these questions. Why does the solution exist? What is the underlying problem? And how does that solution help solve the issue or worsen the situation? We hope you can now appreciate the importance of debate and embrace its value in daily life. Thank you for watching and see you next time.